Thanks for tuning in to the Racer's Edge Entertainment Network. Today I have my good friend Jenn Peterson, president of the Dirt Diggers Motorcycle Club. Welcome, Jenn. Want to get a little bit of background on your riding and racing and all that good stuff, and just stoked to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, right off the bat, just this is a tough one, but I just want to throw it at you. But if you could be any rider right now, currently, like in the NGPC series, it could be anyone. Who would it be and why?
It would honestly be Michaela Nielsen.
Right.
I watched her riding. You know, she was in just a little bike, and I think she even wore a tutu most of the time.
Yeah.
But that girl throws down. I mean, she competes with the boys, and she gives them a run for their money. I saw her when I was working Mammoth Motocross, and it's exactly what she did up there, too.
Yeah, no, she rips. That's awesome. That's cool. She's definitely like, and from what I've seen from the outside, man, she seems like a really nice girl, too. Mm-hmm. Her dad's super. I got a chance to talk to her dad a couple times. Really nice guy. So that's really nice. Cool. How long have you been riding yourself?
I've been riding since I was like 5. I think.
About 5.
It's about the furthest photo back I can find. I would say between 4 and 5 years old I started.
What got you into riding?
My parents.
Parents?
Yeah.
Now, were they like avid like racers, riders? Like
my dad raced. I know he raced LACR when he was younger, maybe 80s or early 90s. I'm not sure the year, but and then he had a CR500, and I just thought that was like the coolest bike in the world.
They are the coolest bike.
He still has it, but not riding it.
Oh, yeah, those things are worth big cash, too.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
So, so that was in riding, and then what, like, as far as like your racing stuff goes, like, what got you into the racing aspect?
My mom moved out to Neenak, which is sort of near Bean Canyon, and we got in contact with an older guy, her neighbor, who was a mile away. And he was part of a motorcycle club called the Dirt Diggers.
All right, okay.
And so I started hanging out with them. They're a really good group of people, a lot of fun, lots of partying when I was first getting in. I heard talk of the town was we were a drinking club with a motorcycle problem. And I'm happy to say that's definitely shifted in the opposite direction now. And yeah, just hanging out with him and getting to know about him and our club's history. It brought me then to the GP series, and I did my first race in 2014.
What was the result?
I don't remember.
Honestly,
I was just stoked to do a race and finally do it. I had always asked my dad, and he said no. And then one day I remember I was like, I think I had just turned 20. I asked him again because I knew a bunch of my friends were going to be out there.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, have fun.
What's the difference between, so you're in Dirt Diggers, and so this is kind of like Dirt Diggers South, I'd imagine, and there's Dirt Diggers North that put on the national every year.
Correct.
Like, what's the difference between those clubs, or is it the same club?
It's a different chapter. From what I understand is we're the Dirt Diggers, and then they broke off and went north, or were already north, and they throw the national now. And more so in the recent years that I've noticed, they have a handful of people that'll come down and they'll either ride sweep with us or just race the course. Or
okay, so they're still you guys are kind of commingling and stuff. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah,
and then vice versa, when Hangtown comes around, they give us like total VIP treatment and really take care of us up there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So is it true, and I don't know if I have my facts entirely straight, but are you the first woman president of a District 37 motorcycle club?
As far as I'm aware, yes. And as long as I've been in the district, yes. I can't speak on other clubs' history. There's a lot of clubs who have been around, even a little longer than us, and we're going on 78 years.
Yeah, so definitely a trendsetter. And that's for sure. That's awesome.
Hopefully.
So what are your like duties as a president? Like, what do you do? Like, what?
A lot of what I've been trying to do is just be open for everybody to talk to, be an approachable person within the club who also takes on a leadership role, and then either take care of problems or delegate jobs or issues to people who can handle it. and I'm very fortunate to have the backing behind my club that I do.
Yeah.
And also the people I work alongside with, like our vice president, secretary, treasurer, our Big Six and District 37 representatives. Everyone who takes on a role in the club it's what keeps us alive.
Yeah, yeah, and going to the event and kind of hanging out with you guys a little bit while you guys were doing it before too. There's a lot of hard work involved in that event for sure. Like so many people are just like taking major time off of work and putting the effort in and to make that event happen. But it's always like, it's one of my favorites for sure. And actually, a bunch of people come in the shop and stuff. It's always the same. It's like everybody's like totally looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're stoked on that for sure. So back to the president thing. So was there any resistance for like a woman to become president, or do you feel that, or not really?
Very few members expressed that feeling, but they're not really members who are very active anymore within the club.
Right, right.
As far as the club goes, the people who were on the meeting, it was a unanimous
Awesome.
election. I mean, I was nominated and ran unopposed, and then unanimously voted for to become president. And now I'm finishing up my second year.
Yeah.
And maybe going for a third.
That's awesome. So what goes into, obviously you guys put on different events and stuff like that, but the GP, like just walk us through, like, how does that come together?
Definitely with the support of our club. Every member who shows up the week before, or honestly, we're planning a year in advance at times for insurance or flyers, things of that nature. Having friends like you who help us with our adult mini bike race or our banquet or anything that club members need at a personal level, everything goes into it. There's what you see, which is the stakes with all our pennant and then our sponsorship pennants and things like that, and then there's stuff you don't see, like getting insurance and having, even just establishing rapport with the owners of the track to be able to throw it at Taft.
How many people kind of, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if you have a number, like how many people actually are involved in that event for you guys? Like, is it like, I have no idea, but it seems like there's a lot of people on the course when I'm out there riding.
So with our membership, I'd say about 60 members, but every member has family and friends who come out and help us. And, not only are we volunteering, but we're part of the club. These family members and friends, they're coming out to help us just out of the pure goodness of their heart and the love of the sport.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's again, it's like one of the better events or whatever, that in the series, and I think that's one of the reasons. Yeah, because I feel like there's a really big club presence out there, and everybody's kind of working together to make it a good one for sure. So specifically the event, like what's next week, right? What is, as far as is there going to be, like, on Friday, is there going to be a practice?
There's going to be Friday motocross practice again, and we're doing a new schedule where you're going to get more of like a moto practice experience. You're going to get the motorcycles are going to be split up between up to 124cc bikes and then 125 plus, so more of like an open class. And they're going to be hour-long practices instead of 20 minutes like we had done in the past.
Yeah.
So it'll rotate throughout the 6 hours of moto practice, which will be 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, and that's specifically just on the moto track. You're not riding any other part of the course or anything?
It's the moto track, and then it's extended a little bit further like it was last year.
A little bit, okay.
It's about a 2-mile practice, if I recall.
Okay, and then could we expect any changes on the course at all, or is it the same basic layout?
It's going to be very similar.
Okay.
Maybe a few extra turns or one extra turn taken out, but it'll be a just over 7-mile course again. Got
it, which is cool. It's nice and long. Yeah, it's a good time for sure. What about, like, for those people that haven't been in the event or whatever before, what about parking? I know there's kind of a top section where you guys park up on top, and then is everything else just kind of a free-for-all, or is there like a pro pit area where people can't park, or how's that work?
So they're directly behind the start is our vendor row, and then again behind that's also some vendors and then some pros as well. And the same thing for that third row is going to be all pro parking.
Got it.
And then up on the hill straight back when you come in is dirt digger parking, and then there's a tier above that and below that that's free. Everything else is free parking.
Gotcha. Yeah. There is a pretty good area, big area out there or whatever to park and stuff. Last time I was out there, I didn't even realize there's like a whole section that kind of parallels the starting, and kind of there's some people back there even and stuff, whatever. That's cool.
Yeah, and a whole hill like right next to where you come in too. That's all big open parking.
Yeah, and definitely like there's quite a few places where you can kind of get out and check out different sections of the course, which is pretty cool too, because not every course kind of offers that also.
And we have riding across the street as well.
Yeah, so that's like, say you're up there and you needed to jet your bike, or you made a change or something, you could actually get out and test it a little bit.
And in similar terrain as to what you're going to be riding with the hills and turns.
Right, and they could, if someone was curious about that, they could be directed, you know, kind of where that is or whatever.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, right out the gate and across the street.
Okay, is there going to be a pro section at the event? I don't know. Like sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, not sure yet. How
Not
it's going to go.
not to my knowledge.
Okay. Okay. Totally looking forward to it, and I'm stoked to be able to sit down and talk to you a little bit. I'm a fan. I'm impressed by your growth and all that stuff in the sport, and just to see you taking on that role and with such a good club and a good event, that's really, really cool. So what is like the best compliment, like putting on an event, like as a club member and also president, what's the best compliment you could get from a racer? Like,
It's like you said, the people who come into your shop and they just say it. They're not prompted to say that's their favorite race or anything like that. It's really nice to hear from the racers themselves how much they enjoyed the course or that they liked X, Y, and Z about it. It's good to hear that, and it's refreshing, because there is so much to think about and put into the race that you can get caught up in the stress very easily of it.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So it's really nice to hear from the people that they enjoy it and it's their favorite round, because we do try and invest everything into our ridership. That's what keeps us going as a club.
Yeah, and yeah, it shows for sure. Yeah, what we're looking forward to it now. The shop's helping out a little bit with the adult mini bike race, right? So it's a team race, correct? Yes. Okay, and that's going to be on the big track, or
we're bringing it back to the main motocross track again this year. Okay. It'll be 2-man teams, $25 per rider. Okay. You have to hold an AMA card, and you need to be at least 18 years old.
Right, and the AMA card, for those that like some people squabble about that, but the insurance for the event, everything, you gotta have it, or it's not gonna happen. But and it was a really good time last year. I know we got some cool trophies. We got some cool trophies lined up. I missed it last year, unfortunately, but I saw some good videos and stuff like that. But yeah. So about what time would that be going off? I mean, is it?
It'll be by 5 o'clock, between 4:30 and 5. We have the Pee Wee race and the Stasic ride race as well on the Pee Wee course separately. Okay. So it's just a matter of getting our club members who are able to help over there, and anyone who's available to also come help with the adult mini bike race, because as you've seen, it can be a little bit chaotic, and we just want to have a good time, and no dirty racing or hands flying or anything like that.
Yeah. So even though the trophies they're cool, but like I would say for sure, like, let's just keep it fun, right? That's what we're doing.
It's all about the experience and the ride. It's the best time I've had on a dirt bike is doing this little race.
Yeah, for sure. So if somebody wanted to contact you, whether to reach out for some sponsored stuff for the event or the club or like anything like that, how would they get in touch with you?
Definitely through email or Instagram. We might need to edit this. I don't know what our email address is off the top of my head.
So they could reach you through Instagram. Yes. And what's the club Instagram?
It's Dirt Diggers MC.
Just straight up Dirt Diggers.
Dirt Diggers MC.
All right, cool. All right, well, we're looking forward to the race. It's going to be a good time for sure. And thanks for taking the time. I know you got a busy week.
Thank you for having me. And thanks for everything you do for our club and our race. And
my pleasure.
And me personally.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the Racer's Edge Entertainment Network. Appreciate you guys. Thanks.